What's up, everyone? It is your host, Ghost, coming to you live with another wonderful video. How is everyone doing today? We got a few things we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about something that happened last night, same thing. Fresh and Fit Miami, specifically Myron, issued a challenge to the TradCons, and whatever decided to butt in, while one of the people who's was issued a challenge looks like he's trying to run away from it. We're just gonna look at that drama, go through all the tweets going back and forth, and check that out. And then we got some news on the border. We got a crazy episode of Law and Order SVU we're gonna look at. And then Trump received his judgment in his second defamation case, which is ridiculous. And then Nikki Haley weighed in on it. So we're going to check that out. And then Georgia lawmakers look like they're going to try and file articles of impeachment against Fani Willis. If you don't know who that is, that's the DA in Georgia that is going after Trump, who turns out may be sleeping with the special prosecutor that was hired to prosecute Donald Trump. So let's look at this. Before I go any further, make sure you follow me at official W Ghost on X. Best way to find out where I'm going or when I'm going live and whatnot. And then check out, regardless of what you're watching this on, check out my Rumble channel at rumble.com/withghost. Because that's where I'm normally at, is Rumble. It's when I go live about everything pretty much. Or I'll at least be on there. It's whenever I go live, I'm generally also on Rumble. So wherever you're watching this, that's where I'll generally be. So check me out there. Make sure you follow me. My gaming channel is rumble.com/gamingwithghost. So check me out there as well. Then twitch.tv/officialwithghost and youtube.com/withghost. But like I said, follow me on X to find out where I'm going live and everything best way. I'm not unique enough to have my own special little code at YouTube. So all right, so let's get into the topic. All right, so here's that. So here's the initial tweet that was sent out from Myron Gaines's Twitter at official at unplugged fit X, capital X. So this is what he initially tweeted out. He says, "I challenge Sovereign Bra, Lily Grace Rose, Sydney L. Watson, and Michael Knowles, or any tradcon from Daily Wire, to debate the Red Pill on the Fresh and Fit pod. I will either stay a neutral host or be in the debate depending on what the opposition prefers. It will be the Rational Male, that's Rolo Tomasi, at Waller7J, that's Justin Waller, at Sartain Podcast, Michael Sartain, and then at Paleo Chris Con, that's actually Andrew Wilson. What's interesting is on the Red Pill side, it's interesting because Andrew Wilson is apparently a Christian, but he appears to be, I guess he's on the Red Pill side. I haven't listened to much of Andrew Wilson. He hasn't been on Fresh and Fit. I have seen him a couple times on whatever. He seems to do very well. So yeah, interesting. But yeah, he continues. Let's put the two ideas to the test through debate. Don't back out now. Okay, so that's the initial tweet. Now, saying, all right, cool. He issued the tweet. Let's it shouldn't be too hard. Well, then here comes fucking whatever podcast, and they have nothing to do with this conversation at all. They weren't issued the challenge at all. They weren't issued to come here and come check it out and everything. They weren't part of the challenge at all. But they tweet out, I've been pitching that, Brian at least, I've been pitching this to everyone for a week behind the scenes. Whatever can serve as far more neutral platform for this debate to occur. You're far less neutral, and if you participate in the debate, it's even less neutral to host it on your platform. Whatever, we'll host / moderate, and we are prepared to offer the following. Co-production, we host a debate on YouTube. FNF has exclusive simulcast on Rumble. 40-40 split of the revenue generated from fan funding, 30-day YouTube based and rev, and with the remaining 20% split to each participant equally. For purposes of clarity, you keep 100% whatever you generate from the Rumble simulcast. DM me, let's make it happen. So whatever comes butting in is like, oh hey, we'll host the debate. First off, dumb. Okay, it's extremely dumb. First off, Fresh and Fit gain nothing by going to whatever. Okay. There's the only thing that could potentially be gained is, I think most of the people that have been issued challenge are closer to California. That's about it. So it's more, but that's not a benefit to Fresh and Fit. Second off, again, like I said, whatever doesn't have anything to do with this. They weren't part of the challenge issue. They weren't anything. They they say you are far less neutral, and if you participate in the debate, it's even less neutral to host it on your platform. If Myron's going to be the moderator and not part of the actual debate, he is extremely neutral. He's done several debates where he is extremely neutral. And like, if you've watched any of his debates that he's hosted, you'll have seen him, host the debate between Red Pill and like Destiny. And then Ryan Dawson and Destiny and Sneeko, Rolo Tomasi, Michael Sartain versus Destiny and Sneeko. So there's a lot of evidence of Myron able to moderate and be able to do it fairly, and it will do it fairly and well. Like they were really well, and he kind of controlled the situation, didn't let anyone get out of hand or anything. He did it very well. Whatever is is way more chaotic. Like if you watch, like I've watched a few, like not even a full episode of whatever, because their streams are way too long and it's never interesting, and the dude sucks. Brian sucks as a host, and he's terrible as a moderator. He lets the chicks walk right all over him, and he can't moderate for shit. And every 2 minutes they have like their text or speech to text go off and interrupt the flow of the show. You've seen, if you watch any of it, you see it happen all the time. The guest is cooking, he's really like, getting in on it, and then he gets interrupted and stopped, and the flow stops because of their stupid text to speech. So there's no benefit whatsoever to FNF to co-produce with them. They're first off, whatever's a rival. Well, I wouldn't even say rival. They're an inferior. And I know what some people say, but Ghost, whatever, has a far higher subscription rate. They're like 4.3 million, while FNF is only 1.33 million or something like that. Well, you got to remember this. Whatever originally started apparently as a prank show, a prank channel. So they've been around a lot longer. So, and then you got to remember that FNF is shadow banned and demonetized on YouTube. So the algorithm doesn't really push them at all. People don't understand that. And then FNF also splits the baby. They do YouTube and Rumble. And then they end up jumping from Rumble and or jumping from YouTube and going Rumble only. And this is a show that's probably going to end up having to be exclusively on Rumble, especially with FNF and the Red Pill being on. So this is going to have to be a Rumble show. They can do it a little bit on YouTube, but this is probably, for the most part, going to end up having to go onto Rumble. So yeah, it's and FNF has the superior platform. Their quality is a lot better. The staff's a lot better. The show's just better. Like, whatever is an inferior platform compared to FNF. So it makes zero sense for them to go over and give whatever a part of the because this is going to be a profitable debate. There's no denying that. But why allow whatever to get any portion of it? They have nothing. They have nothing in this game. They're the pocket pussy podcast. Okay, they sell pocket pussies. They don't really care about the issue itself. Whatever's just trying to worm his way in and get a little money. And this is a fact because back when the Saint and the Sinner and Rollo Tomasi were going to have their debate, Brian tried to sneak in and it's like, oh, I'll host it and you guys can moderate and I could moderate between the two of you and you can do it on my show. Doing the same thing, butting in where he wasn't welcome. It had nothing to do with it, but butting in and trying to, I'll be a neutral platform, you guys, so you get a cut of profits because, no one really cares about whatever. So it makes no sense. And then so yeah. And again, whatever's inferior, and even Myron tweets out, makes zero sense to involve you when we have a bigger audience, superior equipment, production, staff to properly do this. Also, you're not a good moderator. The debate will be in Miami or it won't happen, period. We don't need whatever to do this. Absolutely. Don't need whatever to do this. Let's see. And then, okay. And then here's Sovereign Bra. That's Chase. You see him on whatever all the time. And he tweets out, so it makes perfect sense to me. You just challenged me publicly to debate. I gave you terms that work for everyone. No. That you and your channel will personally profit from. And another channel that doesn't have anything to do with the thing, doesn't have anything to do with the conversation. You're the only person not on board. That's not true either. Jay Waller, Rollo Tomasi, and I'm pretty sure Michael Sartain haven't. Rollo Tomasi said on a stream yesterday that he didn't want to do it on whatever. I'm sure Michael Sartain has the same thought process. He probably doesn't want to do it on whatever either. I wouldn't even be surprised if even Andrew Wilson doesn't want to do it on whatever. I would be willing to bet the only people that want to do it on whatever are the tradcons that are being invited. Actually, even Lily Rose said, hey, it would be more convenient for me to do it on on whatever, but I can, depending on the schedule, I can make it work in Miami. So yeah, even Lily Rose was like, "Hey, look, it would be better, like it would be more convenient," which I get. It would be far more convenient for Lily Rose to be able to be on the whatever, because I think she lives fairly close to there. But she says I can make it work for Fresh and Fit if need be. So yeah, and also a lot of the Daily Wire people, any of the Daily Wire people, they live in Nashville, which is closer to Florida and than California. So again, it makes zero sense to be to go to whatever. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Rational Mail and Sartain, they're both in Vegas, and which would be closer. Would be closer. Okay, so this is Andrew Wilson. He said, "I'll counter proposal if you will humor it. I will be willing to step out of the debate, moderate it, so it's fair for both sides on whatever. I am a superior moderator and have moderated 100 debates. Even the left admits I am unbiased. This way, you can assure fairness." Well, then, how about counter proposal? You moderate on Fresh and Fit and leave whatever out of it. That would be even far better. So that would be my counter proposal. Hold on, I'm going to tweet actually. All right, so I'm tweeting out, if that's your counter, how about a counter proposal? And you moderate on Fresh and Fit, and we keep the Pocket Pussy podcast out of it, since they weren't even in conversation to begin with. I think that's a far better counter proposal. All right. So, anyways, there we go. All right. So this is the initial tweet, and then Sovereign Bra, that's Chase. Myron, challenge to settle this. Let's settle this like man for the whole world to see. My team is already assembled. Mike Patel, this is Foster, and Timothy Ology. I have no idea who any of these people are. At Michael Knows is invited as well. We're fully prepared to crush the degenerate rhetoric coming out of the red pill sphere and to offer actual solutions to the issue facing the sexes in the culture. One caveat: the debate needs to take place in Santa Barbara. I have an elderly family member I care for, and I cannot leave her right now. So I propose we do this on the Whatever podcast instead. I know you view them as competitions. No, he views them as inferior, and this will be a massive stream. I've already done legwork to make it worth your while. Brian Atlas has agreed to split the show's revenue 40-40 with Fresh and Fit pod. The other 20% will go to the show's participant. Brian has offered for you to simulcast it to your FNF Rumble channel. You can keep all the profits from your Rumble channel stream. Brian has no dog in this fight. I agree. He has no dog in this fight, so he will be a neutral moderator. That's why he doesn't need to be. You cannot moderate this. You publicly blaspheme Christ, talk a lot of shit, and use your platform to push your degeneracy in the culture, you need to be in this debate. Rational Male and Sartain and Paleo Krishkan have already agreed to do it on whatever. I've heard that that the Rational Male has not agreed to do it on whatever. I wonder if he's tweeted out about it. So he hasn't talked about it, but apparently on his stream last week or yesterday, he said, no, I don't want to do this on whatever because the guy's shit. Okay. He hasn't commented on it. We saw Andrew Wilson's. Let's see if Michael Sartain has commented on it. No, Michael Sartain has not commented on it. But again, I heard that the Rational Male on his stream said not negatory Ghost Rider, and then Lily Rose is apparently. Something else about Chase Sovereign Bra. Apparently, he was at the TUP USA or something like that, which was out of state, and he went there fine. But now he has this excuse of, I have a sick family member. But you were able to, and that was like a week ago. So you were able to leave them a week ago, but you can't do it now. Makes no sense. We aren't going. And then Myron tweeted back, we aren't going to California. It makes zero sense for us. Figure something out, or you can sit out of the debate. Perfect. And then he tweets back, Sovereign Bra, already pussied out. We just proposed an offer that works for everyone and that Fresh and Fit will personally profit from. Everyone but you is on board. No, incorrect. Stop being lazy and come hash this out like a man. Pussied out. You're the pussy for trying to drastically change the terms. Lazy. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? We are the hardest working podcast on YouTube. You bums haven't been on in over a month. We stream the triple amount you do. We cover all the different types of topics. Let me be clear. This is an opportunity for you. You don't dictate how we run the debate. This isn't about money. It's a little bit about money. It's principle. The originator does not go on the copycat. That's true too. We're not going on whatever. When we are superior in every way. Production, staff, equipment, studio setup, logistics, and the host can't even properly moderate OF girls. You can come to FNF or not do the debate. Simple. Perfect response. And then obviously, dude, you aren't qualified to moderate this debate. We needs to be a neutral party, propose a solution that works for everyone, or accept the solution already proposed. Everyone's on board except you. So, again, it makes no sense to me. Why would they even go even close to on whatever when they don't need to? There's nothing that they gain from getting on whatever. All right, let's see what's Lily Rose. All right, so she tweeted out, if Brian would ever help host the debate, I'd be happy to join. I may be able to make Miami and the platform of Fresh and Fit work too, on schedule, depending on scheduling at Unplug Fit X. So she's like, I'd be happy to make it. I think she probably lives closer to California, which is happy. But she also admits, I can make the other place work as well. And then let's see if Sydney Watson. Okay, so Sydney Watson hasn't weighed in on it at all. Let's see. Okay. And now here's the last tweet. As expected, people are trying to switch the venue platform. This red pill versus Tricon debate will go on. Here's why this will be on Fresh and Fit only, unless Joe Rogan and Lex Friedman or another significant larger creator wants to host. We are the number one red pill men's podcast in the world. We average 10 to 15K live viewers on YouTube and about 20K live on Rumble Simulcast. So total of 35K live viewers. We're going on any other platforms counterproductive when we have the bigger audience in this realm. Exceptions listed above. We will not go on a computer's platform that copied our format. Also, we will be limited with poor moderation and censorship. The beginning can be broadcast on YouTube, but Rumble is ideal to avoid censorship. We have the best production quality of any podcast and have a dedicated staff that runs audio, video, and camera switching with 13 plus camera angles. We have successfully hosted multiple debates like this from a neutral standpoint and on topics way more sensitive than RP versus TradCon. We did a JQ debate before 10/7/23 with 100K watching live. We have experience doing this. People can complain, but everything I said is fact. The debate will be the most successful on Fresh and Fit. I don't know why Nick Fuentes is being invited. And then Pearly Things, who also isn't part of this, but weighed in, tweeted this. If Chase is such a God-fearing religious person, why does the location money matter? You have God on your side, right? God can save men from the wrath of modern women, but you're too scared to have Myron moderate. Come on. You should be thankful he invited you. And then Myron, and imagine being invited to a bigger podcast and say, nah, bro, I got to take care of a family member. So come on, a podcast I don't run that copied your format. Low IQ idiot. So there we go. So that's what happened yesterday. Again, it just makes no logical sense. And again, it's Brian trying to butt in and butt in something that he has no party of. Like, why? It makes no sense. And you hear people, no, you should go on there. Why won't you go on to whatever and everything? Why don't you do there if it's blah 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 blah? You don't understand business, okay? You don't go on someone who has no. Why would you go to an inferior / competitor, more inferior than competitor? Why would you go on the inferior and try and have them basically, take over when they're not the ones that were part of this at all? Like whatever just butted in for no reason. There was no talk like, hey, whatever needs to be in the show or anything. They just butted in like, hey, if you want to do this, we'll come in. Why? What use does Myron get? Like no one can tell me what benefit does Myron get from doing this show on whatever. Like, in all honesty, what benefit does Myron get? And guess what? He issued the challenge. He gets to set the terms. Okay. It's very simple. And, I wish Myron would admit, and because it has to do, it isn't just about money, but it does have a significant, it is something that is, you can think about, like, be like, yeah, look, this is going to be a huge stream. A bunch of super chats are going to come in. A lot of people talking. It's going to be a huge stream. So, yeah, there's going to be a significant amount of profit going on. But why would I share that with whatever? Like, they have nothing to do with this conversation, okay? They're the Pocket Pussy podcast, all right? They sell pocket pussies. They have a sex doll in it. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, whatever has nothing to do with this. Why would they? Like, so Myron's 100% right. I hope he doesn't back down at all. Or if they go on some like a completely different podcast, that'd be fine too. Because Brian has a relationship with everyone on, like, that's basically that the challenge was issued to. I'm pretty sure Sydney Watson has been on whatever. Lily Rose has been on whatever. Andrew Wilson has been on whatever. Rolo Tomasi, Jay Waller, Marco Sartain, they all have been on whatever. The only people that haven't been on whatever is Myron, but everyone else has. So, is he really going to be neutral? He's going to have a side with someone. Probably the guy who is basically his code host, which was Sovereign Bra. So no, it makes far more sense for Myron to host it on his show. Like, whatever has nothing to do with this, and I don't know why they butted in. Well, I know why they butted in. He saw this like, oh shit, this would be huge. A lot of money can be made here. Let's get in on this. And doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. All right, moving on. I think that's all I got really to say about that whole situation. It's funny to me, and I get why they're doing it, but come on. All right, moving on. So we got some borders update going on. Biden. So the other day, last week, probably I think Friday, I think it was. Friday. Last week, Biden gave Governor Abbott a 1 p.m. East Standard Time deadline to remove his National Troop Guards. Why? Why would Abbott remove his National Troop Guard troops? Now, I'm sure some of you are thinking, like, well, the Supreme Court ordered that the wire fence was to be taken down. No, Supreme Court said that remove the injunction that prevented the federal government from removing the razor wire. But it didn't say that that Abbott had to stop what he was doing. It didn't say that Abbott was in violation of anything. It just said, no, the federal government could remove the wire. Doesn't say anything about Abbott removing its guards. Doesn't even say anything about Abbott replacing that razor wire by putting more up. I don't even think it says anything about Greg Abbott allowing federal troops into the area to cut down the razor wire. All it really said was the federal government could cut down the razor wire. That's all it was. All right, Abbott refused. So Biden issued punitive sanctions against Texas by pausing liquid natural gas development opportunities, which will directly hurt the Texas economy. That's not a coincidence. That's how evil Biden is. He's suffocating Texas jobs because Abbott is protecting our border. So this was a New York Times article. Biden administration pauses approvals of new gas export terminals. The president said the government would analyze impact on climate and the economy and national security before approving new projects. It's complete. And they're bold. This is a direct. This is just basically punishment. This is just punishment. This is just a punishment levied against Texas for refusing to bend the knee, basically. That's all this is. And let's see. So President Biden tweeted out, my administration is pausing pending decisions on new liquefied natural gas exports. During the pause, we will take a hard look at the impacts of exports on cost, energy security, and climate change and the existential threat of our time. We committed to get this right. Bullshit. Let's hear what he has to say, because he made a little speech. All right, so let's.
We have to fight for clean air in our communities and to lower costs for American families, including energy costs. Today's pause on new natural gas export approvals recognizes the climate crisis for what it is, the existential threat of our time. It's a threat, a serious threat. We have to fight for clean air in our community.
What about the threat of undocumented individuals entering our border so frequently, so high? What about that existential threat? This makes no sense. Let's see. Apparently, also, Biden's border agents announced they will refuse orders to arrest National Guard members. Apparently, I haven't seen any evidence of that, but that's just someone tweeted out. All right, now President Biden released a statement. For everyone who is demanding tougher border control, this is the way to do it. Here's my full statement on border security negotiations. For immediate release, statement of President Biden on the bipartisan Senate border security negotiations. For too long, we all know the border's been broken. It's long past time to fix it. That's why 2 months ago, I instructed my team to begin negotiations with a bipartisan group of senators to seriously and finally address the border crisis. For weeks now, that's what they've done, working around the clock through the holidays and over the weekends. Let's be clear. What's been negotiated would, if passed into law, be the toughest and fairest set of reforms to secure our border we've ever had in our country. It would give me, as president, a new emergency authority to shut down the border when it becomes overwhelmed. If given that authority, I would use it the day I signed the bill into law. Furthermore, Congress needs to finally provide funding I requested in October to secure the border. This includes an additional 1,300 Border Patrol agents, 375 immigration judges, 1,600 asylum officers, and over 100 cutting-edge inspection machines to help detect and stop fentanyl at our southwest border. Securing the border through these negotiations is a win for America. For everyone who is demanding tougher border control, this is the way to do it. If you're serious about the border crisis, pass a bipartisan bill and I will sign it. Now, my question in all this, why do we need to give you more power for you to shut down the border? I'm pretty sure you already have that ability to be like, all right, no more people can come in. Because, if I remember correctly, Trump passed, what was it? Oh, yeah, a travel ban from, was it 7 countries, Muslim countries? So he was able to do that. You can't pass a ban like, hey, we're not accepting any more immigration at this time, except for asylum seekers. You can't do that. You need a new law to do that. And also, all right, cool. But here's the thing with these bills that a lot of people don't really understand. There's always that bill. So it's like labeled border security. That's the name of the bill. But then there's a bunch of other shit in it. There's like, probably a bunch of money for Ukraine, some money for other funding that they want. And they wrap it into the one bill. That way, when their opponents nix it, they can be like, well, they don't care about the border crisis because they won't pass this bill. Well, what else is in this bill? What else is in there that's causing, Republicans to be like, nah, fam, we good? That's the question you really need to start asking. Let me Google it real quick, see what's on. See. Let's see. Doesn't tell me. I can't see anything about what's actually in the bill. Isn't that interesting? I can't find anything with a quick Google search of what's actually in the bill. Let's see. Oh, okay. No. Last year, the Biden administration made a supplemental request last year trying border funding to aid for Ukraine and Israel. So that was part of it last year, probably a part of it this year as well. So, I can't find what else is in the bill. What else is in that bill? What else? That's just my question. I'm just curious. What else is in the bill? Because like I said, there's always more that gets added on. There's never anything. It's never just the bill. There's always more to it. So that's just my curiosity. I'm a very curious person. I'm just wondering what else is in the bill. All right. So let's do this next. So like I said last week, a bunch of other I reported last week that there are several states that were behind Texas and willing to help Texas out, and Oklahoma is one of them. Let's listen to what the Oklahoma governor says. No. We'll see what this person.
The former president, Donald Trump, has suggested to all the Republican governors out there, send members of your state's National Guard. In your case, Governor, it would be the Oklahoma National Guard. Send them down to Texas to help Greg Abbott. Are you going to do that?
Absolutely. You know, I've done it once before, and we're looking. I already talked to my TAG, my General Mancino. We've already started putting the numbers together. We'll be in contact with Governor Abbott.
The former president, Donald Trump, has suggested.
Okay, so that's apparently the Oklahoma governor, and he's like, "Yeah, no, we're absolutely going to help out our friends," which is cool, very cool. Honestly, very, very awesome. It's nice to see other states pitching in and being like, "No, we agree with this. We're with Texas. We're going to help them out with how we can." So good on Oklahoma. So even Oklahoma's behind Texas on this one. So let's see. All right. So that's everything on the border I got. So we're done talking about the border. I know. A lot of border talk. But, you know, that is what it is. All right. Let's check this out. So this was an episode, apparently, of SVU, Law and Order SVU. SVU is Special Victims Unit. Let's listen to this. Let's listen to this.
But Natalie, Jay Watson raped you. Do you think I forgot? How could I? This entire trial has been an exercise in reminding me.
And this is your chance to do something about it.
I am going to. Believe me. Because I can. I can afford therapy. I have that luxury. And maybe one day I'll be okay. But if that teenager goes to prison, he may not be. Ever. I don't want that.
Natalie, wait.
This is so fucking dumb. So if everyone doesn't know, apparently it's a black teenager who raped her. And her solution is not to punish him for the crime he committed, but to, I can afford therapy. So, you know, I'm just going to go with that. I'm not going to hold someone responsible for their actions. I'm going to, you know, go to therapy and not punish the bad behavior. Guess what? You don't punish the bad behavior now. What's going to happen? The next girl's going to get raped. This chick's a coward is what she is. Okay. I know it's a show, but she's a coward. Okay. She's a giant coward. And instead of standing up to the perpetrator now, she would, also, let's be honest. You know, it's a show, so I can't really call her a coward because it's a TV show. But here's what it is. It's wokeness. That's all it is. It's like, you know, it's a black teenager. He goes to prison. Everything's going to be bad for him and nothing will be good. And he's black and underprivileged. So that's why we can't have him go to prison. The guy committed a crime. Send him to jail. Law and Order, huh? No, Law and Delusion is what it is. What a crappy show. How bad this show has devolved to this point where, like, now they're doing an episode where a rape victim's like, I can get therapy and I could be okay. But the teenager, if he goes to prison for the crime he committed, he may not be. Well, he committed a crime. So, honestly, I could care less if he's okay. Personally, I could care less because he's an asshole and a criminal and should be punished to the full extent of the law. But that's just me. It's just me. But yeah, SVU is fucking crazy. All right. So, like I said, moving on, Trump's defamation case on E. Jean Carroll has just launched or has been set down. So E. Jean Carroll has been awarded $83.3 million in damages. Now, damages were because of apparent death threats that she conveniently deleted. So there was no way for for Trump's lawyers to be able to connect the so-called death threats with anything related to Trump. Because, you know, just prior to her suing Trump for defamation, or just prior to Trump even speaking out, because that's what it was about. This defamation case was about. Trump was accused of this and said, well, I don't know her. She's not that pretty. Other people may say it, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't call her pretty. She's very ugly, very gross. And I did not touch her. Some people may have, but I did not touch her. So that was basically, he called her ugly, said he didn't rape her, which a jury agreed with him. They said he didn't rape her. He apparently sexually assaulted her, but he didn't rape her. And the thing about it was, like, she couldn't remember the day. She claimed she was wearing a dress that wasn't even designed at that point. And apparently he did it in a public place. Like, her story didn't make sense at all. There's something else. Well, whatever. So anyway, she got awarded $83.3 million in damages. But the thing is, how was she damaged $83.3 million? She's 80 years old. Okay. Because part of it is punitive damages. Like, if it weren't for this damage, the damage, not punitive, but there was damages where like there's a section of damage where, like, the damage is so severe that it affected her future income. So you're saying her future income would have been close to 83.3 million, like, or 17 million, I think they were in punitive damage or something like that. Basically, there was a set amount that was like, double digits millions. And you're telling me an 80-year-old could have potentially made that much in the few short years she has left? It's ridiculous. Anyways, this is his attorney, Trump's attorney, who got questioned after the verdict was laid down.
No. I'm glad you asked me that question. No, I'm not having any second thoughts about representing President Trump. It is the proudest thing I could ever do. What I am having second thoughts about is the license that I stand here with that the people in there are supposed to have. I have not spoken because I respect my ethics while I'm on trial. But let me now speak about what has happened. I have sat on trial after trial for months in this state, the state of New York. Attorney General Letitia James, and now this. Weeks. Why? Because President Trump is leading in the polls, and now we see what you get in New York. So don't get it twisted, whoever asked me that question. I am so proud to stand with President Trump. But I am not proud to stand with what I saw in that courtroom. I'm not finished. Let me just finish and I'll take questions, please. Before I walked into court, that judge decided that every single defense President Trump had, we were not allowed to raise in front of the jury. It is in writing, and I encourage the journalists, the real journalists, to take the minute to look at his orders. There was no proof. And I couldn't prove that she didn't bring in the dress. There was no DNA. There was no expert. My experts were denied. Two of them were denied to come in. They didn't let me bring up that Reid Hoffman funded Miss Kaplan. And you know what we got in there? That my witness, who was her friend, who said that she is a drug addict and the drug addict is herself. That friend, I found out in there, was paid for by Miss Kaplan's firm, and that is disgusting. That is a violation of everything I stand for, and that is why I stand with Trump. And that is why so many Americans are so proud that he is running again and so excited to run to the ballot box. But don't get it twisted. We are seeing a violation of our justice system. Ladies and gentlemen, you are not allowed to be stripped of every defense that you have. You are not allowed to be told that you can't bring it up. And imagine a point where a judge tells the lawyer, before your client, the former president of the United States, the leading candidate and obvious nominee for the Republican Party, before he takes the stand to defend himself, Ms. Haba, tell me the questions you're going to ask in open court and tell me exactly what he's going to respond. And then edited my questions, edited the response he was allowed to give. And guess what my client did? He took the stand. He abided by the rules of this corrupt system that I have seen. We will immediately appeal. We will set aside that ridiculous jury. And I just want to remind you all of one thing. I will continue with President Trump to fight for everybody's First Amendment right to speak. Everybody's a right to defend themselves when they are wrongfully accused and to be able to say, I didn't do it. And to double and triple and quadruple down and say, this is wrong. This is wrong. But we are in the state of New York. We are in a New York jury, and that is why we are seeing these witch hunts, these hoaxes, as he calls them. And this is another one of them. Be brought in New York, in states where they know they will get juries like this. It will not deter us. We're fighting, and I assure you, we didn't win today, but we will win. The record that was made in there, and the behavior I saw in there, some of which was reported widely today, gave us the most perfect record on appeal, and even if I needed it, which I don't, we were stripped of every defense, every single defense before we walked in there. And I am proud to stand with President Trump because he showed up, he stood up, he took the stand, and he faced this judge. And you know what? I'll continue to do so with him. Yes.
Ms. Hubbard, is the former
Of course, I've spoken with the president.
Ms. Hubbard, is the former president scared now of the consequences of his actions?
The former president does not live his life in fear, as you've seen every single day. The former president and probably future president will continue to fight for Americans. Thank you very much, everybody.
So it was a crap decision. Like it's just ridiculous. The decision alone, like, look, this decision is so high, it's definitely getting appealed, and it's gonna probably end up having to go all the way to the Supreme Court, I assume, because New York is an appellate court needs to be able to see this and be like, this is wrong. We can't allow this to happen. I don't care if it's Trump. We need to, this appeal is ridiculous. He wasn't allowed to raise any sort of defense, apparently. And how can you defend yourself if you're not, able to raise any sort of defense? It's ridiculous. This whole thing was ridiculous. We all knew he was going to lose it, but, and here's the thing with him losing it. It just gives him more campaign fuel. That's all it was. He may have lost in court. He's going to win later in court because that fine's going to get reduced, if not thrown out completely. But it's going to get, what is this? More fuel for his campaign. He's going to continue going with his campaign. And she's like, look what they're trying to do with me. They're trying to silence me. They're trying to destroy me for speaking the truth. They're using bullshit to try and destroy me for speaking the truth and to prevent me from running. Simple as that. Now, Trump's opponent talks about this, and let's see what she has to say about this.
The jury has now ruled. They have found him liable of sexual abuse. Do you not trust the jury and their findings, Ambassador?
I absolutely trust the jury, and I think that they made their decision based on the evidence. I just don't think that should take him off the ballot. I think the American people will take him off the ballot. I think that's the best way to go forward, is not let him play the victim, let him play the loser. That's what we want him to do at the end of the day.
So there you go, Nikki Haley. I trust the jury. Really? I mean, I trust the jury too, but based on the evidence that was provided, this shouldn't have been the outcome. So Nikki Haley doesn't really care about the truth. She's like, oh, this will look bad for Trump. It doesn't look bad for Trump. It's just what it is reaffirming what he's saying, that the system's corrupt. It's corrupt against him, and we're seeing it live. It's completely ridiculous. All right. One last thing before I get to my topic is Joe Biden showing his mental decline. Let's listen to this.
Donald Trump, when he was commander-in-chief, refused to visit a cemetery, U.S. cemetery outside of Paris for fallen American soldiers. And he referred to those heroes, and I quote, as suckers and losers. He actually said that. He said that. How dare he say that? How dare he talk about my son and all of us like that?
So he screamed. Now, let me ask you something, Biden. It's what you claim. I don't believe you for a second at all. I don't believe you for a second at all during all this because you're a liar. Show me a clip. And also, you make shit up all the goddamn time. But you remember this, President Biden? Do you remember this? When you were checking your watch while soldiers were being brought in back to the country, fallen soldiers, that it was your fault they died in the first place because you did such a shit pull out of Afghanistan that they ended up dying. Remember this? Where was the respect for your son then, Biden? Where was it then? There was no respect there. None at all. So don't go getting on your high horse when you've done far worse. And I'm willing to bet whatever Donald Trump said probably was taken out of context because that's what they like to do. All right. So last but simply not least, Georgia Republicans launched Senate investigation into Fani Willis as lawmaker calls for impeachment. So the Republican-led Georgia Senate will investigate claims that Fani Willis, the Fulton County District Attorney behind election interference in Georgia, had an inappropriate relationship with prosecutor assigned to the case in the latest escalation of political fallout from the accusations. On Friday, the Senate voted largely along party lines to create a special committee tasked with investigating the claims and given the authority to administer oaths and issue subpoenas. The text of the bill proposed by Republican State Senator Greg Dozella claims that, if true, the allegations against Willis will bring her and her office in disrepute and undermine confidence in a fair criminal justice system. The committee would consist of 9 members, 3 of whom would be Democrats. The committee was created just hours after Republican State Senator Charlize Bride announced articles of impeachment against Willis. Forbes has contacted Willis' office for comment. The accusation against Willis have threatened to upend her criminal case against Trump, one of 19 co-defendants charged for their alleged efforts to block President Joe Biden's 2020 election victory in Georgia. The accusations first surfaced in a filing put forward by one of the defendants in the case, Michael Roman, who sought Willis' disqualification and dismissal of charges on grounds that she allegedly had improper relationship with Nathan Wade, special prosecutor involved in the case. On Thursday, Trump's legal team joined into Roman's filing, similarly calling for Willis's disqualification. Trump's attorney alleged that she fomented racial bias into the case when she pushed back against the critiques during a speech in an Atlanta church, suggesting that she and Willis were being scrutinized because of their race. Trump has frequently attacked Willis, calling her racist and alleging that she is targeting him. Democrats in the state Senate reportedly pushed back on the committee, with State Senator Josh McLaren accusing Republicans of engaging in political theater. What? Okay, come on, dude. This whole trial is political theater. Don't even try that crap. In a True Social post on Friday, former President Donald Trump alleged, without evidence, that the case was brought in a total, complete coordination with crooked Joe Biden's White House and DOJ, claiming Willis's boyfriend/lover went to the White House on numerous occasions. Willis also declined on Friday to provide documents related to congressional requests from U.S. Representative Jim Jordan, Republican of Ohio. Jordan had reached out to Wade seeking information on communications between the Fulton County District Attorney's Office and the White House or Department of Justice. But in a letter first reported by the New York Post, Willis responded on Wade's behalf, declining to provide documents, claiming that the request implied significance, well-organized confidence interests related to an ongoing criminal matter. Meanwhile, Trump's legal team in recent weeks have requested records that would demonstrate coordination between the White House and Wade regarding the prosecution, amid the report that Wade billed the Fulton County District Attorney's Office for trips to Washington. All right, so there we go. Good. Fuck them. Fuck all them people. Yeah, there we go. So that is apparently what's going on. Yeah, look, look, if you're going to go after a political opponent, don't get caught fucking your fucking employee, you dumb broad. Why would you do this? This is so dumb. So dumb. Let me just get into the, let me just do this real quick, and I'm gonna bang this chick and be like, oh, or this dude and be like, oh, what happened? I don't understand. Why are you banging someone that is directly involved in your case and you're going after Trump? This makes no sense to me. Ashley DA is beyond me. Maybe she became it by fucking everyone. It's my assumption at this point. Okay. All right. So that's all I got for you today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll be back tomorrow. And yeah, I hope you have a good day. I hope you enjoyed it. This was a very interesting video. Let me also make this clear on the earlier thing. I really hope that debate between TradCons and the red pills happen. I will definitely watch it. I will definitely react to it as well. I think it'd be interesting. Depending on when it takes place, I might even take the day off and cover it live. So it should be very, very interesting. And I hope FNF doesn't back down at all. Be like, no, we're doing this on our platform. We're not going to do it. Like, and look, they set out the challenge. Like Myron set out the challenge, set the terms, and now they're trying to weasel it and include someone that is irrelevant, a podcast that is irrelevant. They call them neutral. They're not very neutral at all. And Sovereign Bra, he apparently went to the TPUSA event, but now you can't go now. It makes no sense at all. And guess what? Sovereign Bra isn't needed. And here's what they can do. They can still have Sydney Watson, Lily Rose. I don't even know who else, but someone else, one of the Daily Wire folks, and then just take Andrew Wilson off for their side, and there 3v3. Like that's what they could do. Oh, wait, who else? Oh yeah, Jay Wall. So yeah, that's what they could do. So they don't need Sovereign Bra at all. So whatever. But yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and give me a follow on Rumble. I hope you have a good day. Peace out.